So this was unexpected. The sofa actually comes in 2 separate boxes. One here and one here. But I want to make my new place more comfortable, so let's put them together. Each of the boxes is just under 39 inches by about 9 inches by about 33.5 inches tall. And when you're opening these boxes, make sure you're being careful with them because as it says here, returns will only be accepted in the original package. Let's carefully get rid of that packaging. There you go. We still got some more packaging to remove, however. There you go, packaging off. That was really easy. And I gotta say, I'm already super impressed with this couch right here. Love the color on it. Feels like really high quality material, nice and soft and textured. And it comes with these nice wood stylish legs here and a pack of hardware. Let's make sure we got everything it's supposed to have. Okay, we got ourselves a wrench here, a hex key or Allen wrench, whatever you want to call it, 4 of these M8 35mm bolts, 8 of the 100mm bolts, 8 of the M8 nuts, and 12 washers. And you should have 4 of these legs right here and 2 of these legs right here. So the first thing we need to do is flip these 2 pieces of the couch over, and we need to remove these armrests here. And I'm going to do that by just cutting these straps. And behind that armrest, you'll also find a pillow. Now the other side. And again, I found another pillow. Pillows seem to be nice and fluffy with the same soft textured material that the sofa is made of. And you can open them up to see the inside, or of course, wash the outside. Next step, I'm going to lie them down flat to put on the legs. However, you want to make sure that you have them oriented correctly. And in order to do that, you want to find the side of the sofa that has these holes in them because they're going to match up with these armrest holes right here. And we want to place that on the outside of the sofa. And then we should have them roughly lined up like this. Then we're going to take our middle legs to attach them with those 35mm bolts. Make sure to apply a washer. Then we're going to take this leg and apply it over top of this hole here and this hole here. And for these holes, this one looks like it's going to accept the bolt really easily, but this one over here seems to have a staple right here that's getting in the way. So I'm just going to peel that staple back to make room. Don't know why it was like that, but it's an easy fix. You can start just by screwing these in by hand. Now I'm going to do it for the second leg here. Just screw them in by hand. And I'm not going to tighten these up with a wrench until I'm sure that I have this aligned properly. I actually didn't need to do much. They look pretty well aligned already. You can see how the pieces already come together and are in a nice straight line, so they're ready for tightening. That leg feels nice and solid. And now that leg feels nice and solid. And you can see that it maintained its coordination. Looks really good. Over here too, nice and lined up. Now we'll move on to the outer legs here, and they already have a bolt in them, and we do not need a washer for these ones. Just drop them into the appropriate hole and tighten up. Come to the point where they get difficult to tighten and they just won't twist anymore. There you go. We're gonna do that for all 4 of the outer legs. Now for the next couple of steps, we wanna have it popped up like this with the front of the seat upwards and the back of it on the ground like that. Then we're going to take our 100mm bolts here and drive them about 1 centimeter into these holes on the armrest so that they're sticking out like this. Now you should have all 4 of them like that. Okay, now we're going to move on to what is the most difficult part of putting this couch together. And I know that because I already went through and assembled this side just to make sure that I could give you clear instructions on how to do it. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy, but I think I figured it out and I'm gonna help you through it as well. So the first thing we need to do is line up those bolts there with the holes that are found on the side of the sofa. And I found that I like to start with the bottom one and then move upwards from there, moving them in one by one. As you can see, this takes some wiggling back and forth to make sure all the bolts get into place. Now you can see here that I've got them all started, but the next step is going to be wiggling them in one by one, and this part's not very easy. At least it wasn't on the other armrest. So I'm just gonna try to push them in one by one at a time. That one went in pretty well. So did that one. Wiggling, pushing, and I'm trying to get my hand behind the bolts directly as I push them in. And that side ended up being much easier than the other one. What we're looking for now is to making sure that we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts visible on the inside of the sofa here. Now we're going to take a washer and place them over the bolt like that. And then we take one of the nuts and we screw it on by hand onto the bolt that's protruding on the inside of the sofa. And we're going to do that for all 4 of them. And then we're going to take this wrench here and tighten them all by hand, which will draw these gaps together as it pulls the armrest into the sofa. And if you haven't used a wrench like this before, you'll see that there's a thicker side and a thinner side here. You always want to push in the direction of this. So if we're going to be rotating right, I'm putting this on top and pushing down like that because the strength of the wrench is in the thick side. So you'll see the gaps now as I'm continuing to tighten them, and you'll watch them disappear. Now you can see that I've got those gaps tightening up here, pretty much all tightened up. And what you're gonna notice is that you tighten this bolt or this bolt, this one might start to appear a little loose. Even though I thought I had it tightened up, I can tighten it up again with my fingers there. And that's just because as you're tightening them and pulling in the armrest, that's giving more space for the bolts to be tightened. So make sure you're going through one by one and that you continue to tighten all four. All four tightened up, you should have a pretty sturdy armrest here on both sides. Mine are both looking good. Throw on your pillows. Well, there you go. Definitely wasn't the easiest sofa to put together, but I hope that all the tips and pointers that I gave you help you put it together too. I am ready to relax.